Alright, so following the cue of the awfully real meta joke that I'm going to pull through, this is the maybe last video chronologically that I'm recording. My voice is kind of sore, but it could pull through this last one, I'm sure of it. But after this, I'm going to drink a lot of water. Now, this is the last one chronologically, but it may be the first one uploaded, because it may be the longest due to the fact that it is a lot of punishments to go through, kind of Wikipedia-ish. So what I'm going to do is list some punishments and the various descriptions, because there is some punishments that Luigi Cadorna, because remember, if you watch the Luigi Cadorna Heroes and Generals, he was an old man of Rome. He was casted into the mole of antiquity. So what I sought for this one, which would be it would kind of make sense. We do not really know what the punishments and stuff were. Maybe like extra labor duties, and maybe like being a lookout for sniper, you know, like being can fodder for the enemy to just shoot as a distraction, or even just being court-martialed and shot, and having your battalion or troops to watch you get shot. But we're going to go through some ancient Rome punishments. They may be a bit more brutal, but some of them are actually not that brutal and could actually make sense in modern war. And it was the old mixed with the new. So let us see what are some old Roman punishments. So we're on Wikipedia right now. We're going to be very meta right now. And we have the first punishment, which was Frontazamis Roma, or bastinado, which is a court-martial sentence for desertion, or it was a court-martial sentence for desertion and basically not doing your duties. The soldier would be stoned or beaten to death by clogs in front of the assembled. Alright, so the first punishment we have on our list, we can make it true. We're going to do about 4 or 5. It is Fuztura Roma, or Bastinado, following a court-martial sentence of desertion or dereliction of duty. The soldier would be stoned or beaten to death by clogs in front of assembled troops by his fellow soldiers as well, whose lives were put in danger by this man deserting or shaking off his duties. Soldiers on the sentence of Fruatazamirum Frustrarium, who escaped but were not pursued, but lived on the sentence in banishment from Rome. Polybius writes that the frustramium, or inflicted to those who steal anything from the camp, or those who give false evidence of young men who'd been abused by persons, and finally on anyone who's been punished trench of the same fault, which I think could be deciphered to the fact that it inflicts the ones who steal on the camp. So if a person was to steal a loaf of bread, another troop won't get a loaf of bread and would be hungry on the front lines, causing him to be malnutritioned. What I believe, maybe we'll break it down like that. And those who give false evidence, so basically lying on young men who've been abused, their persons. That's interesting. And finally, on anyone who's been punished, trench of the same fault. So hypocrisy, I'm believing. Hypocrisy. Interesting. Next up, we have Piacaniane Molate. Fines or deductions of the pay allowance. not too bad. We could see that in Modern War. So first off, we have Banistiato. I think that's like banish in Italian. Bastiniado and Fustorium, which is basically court-martialing, and now we have fines and deductions from pay allowance. So these could make it into Modern War. Cadorna could have done these. Flogging. I think this was abolished by the British, but it was basically flogged in front of a current or legion of people. Maybe let's see what flogging would entail. Like slave flogging with like one of those huge cracker whips, like click crack, you know, like one of those slave whips, or the multiple belts that the Japanese and Roman used with leather. Ooh, that hurts. Kind of got my back aching just thinking about it. Or could it be? Well, it has to be a belt of some sort, or it could be even a piece of wood. If you know, if you're any other ethnicity, or even some white people that have been beaten. We've been beaten by wood, steel, slippers, all that kind of thing, but in the military sense, I would believe it to be leather. At least a leather something. It could be the, like, I like to call it the 1,000 whips on one whip. It could be that long whip thing, or it could be one of those slave whips. But I don't think those slave whips were invented for a long time, so I'm thinking it's the 1,000 belts on one handle thing. So it may be that, but it's flogging. That kind of could make it into Modern War. I mean, like, flogging was abolished by the British, but I don't believe the Italians followed suit. So it could have been there. That could have been a possibility. Another one was demanding sancreums. What is a sanctum? Oh, demanding serenities. Right, so it includes retaking the military oath, treason, or theft. The punishment would probably be to pick up a sack of snakes and be thrown into a mare by lake or river. Since they were in the mountains in the high alpine conditions, there's no lakes and there is definitely no snakes. Which rhymes. Cat in the Hat taught you a lot. But I don't think this would have made it into Luigi Cadorna's Pandora's Box of Punishments and Military Disciplines. I'm going to give this a big no. I don't believe so. Maybe like on a real sadistic one, like a pool would be placed in the trench, and for those who theft would be, so maybe on like a real sadistic note. Like someone would bring a pool in the trench with a bag of snakes. That wouldn't make any sense, but like a real sadistic person would have done that. So out of the realm of possibility for actual, but maybe on a sadistic note, it could have been possible. But it is ancient Rome times versus World War One, so high alpine fighting plus modern military codes and just the sheer oddity of it. I think these punishments were kind of like like when Dante wrote his, divine, when he wrote his book, The Divine, I can't remember, but Dante Alighieri, yeah, he wrote, and the punishments for the deeds they have done. So the traitors, especially at the ninth circle of hell, like Satan and Judas, would be cast in a lake of ice with their head, and the further he went down the ninth circle, there'd be more, their heads would be deeper and deeper into the ice lake. So maybe it could have been like one of those kind of punishments, like poetic justice, right? There's the word I'm looking for, poetic justice. Maybe. Let's do unmanly acts. No, that's a bit too long. Maybe in another Corona special, but we're gonna do this last one here, which is the punishment for Roman military who only applied to be involved in the prison system. This rule was that the prisoner died due to the punishment inflicted by the Roman legions unless he was given the death penalty. Then the leader of the troops would be given the same punishment. Interesting. Another punishment of the Roman military, I'm going to repeat it again. only applied to people involved in the prison system. This rules that if the prisoner died during a punishment inflicted by the Roman legionnaires, unless he was given the death penalty, the troops would suffer the same punishment, maybe even leading to the same fate of death. So basically, what I'm seeing is this one is any prisoners of war or prisoners in general, maybe even prisoners of the state, prisoners of the, like anti-Julius Caesar and stuff, prisoners. Let's go prisoners in general, bunch them up prisoners. What the legionnaires was to do was to capitally punish them. So if they were to die under their jurisdiction, supervision, they would have to suffer the same fate. So the soldiers of the Alps, I could see this happening. I can honestly see this happening because if a soldier of war was to die in your hands, you'll have to pay very deep consequences for that life of that soldier. Because in the first place, this is not World War II, this is not Auschwitz, this is not Stalingrad. There was still a moral code to war, so for him to die, I could see this one. This is a real good contender for Luigi Cadorna's sick Pandora's box of punishments, and I think that's about it. Yeah, those 5 to 6 punishments, and there's this one. There's loss to the advantages gained from a length of service. So I don't know what that person did to deserve that, but I'm basically seeing from this one is that pension is going to be lessened, so maybe it's from stealing or something like that. But it says punishments under unmanly acts, so I'm guessing like if you run away or cowardice, something like that. Or like you lift a log and you're like, oh, my arm's tired, I broke a nail. Maybe it could be something of that manner. So that's like 5 to 6 punishments that could fit into Luigi's Cadorna's sick punishment box. They may not be the actual ones, he may have even created some new ones himself, but I thought since he was the old man of Rome, I would give the old man of Rome a little credit by going back to 750 AD. So hope you enjoyed this one, hope you enjoyed the meta jokes, and I may cut out the meta jokes, but we'll see. But learn something, I hope you did. And I'm going to leave a PDF to the actual disciplines and all those punishments in the description, but I thought this would be a little fun shake-up. When the Verdun team hopefully do the Italian front, we may go back to this, but I thought this was a nice little way to end off the Italians on the Italian front. So, I'll see you next week. Vive la France! On laisse voir. Au revoir. I think that's how you say goodbye in French. Learn something. No, you know what? Let's see something. Let's try something. Let's try something. Let's try something really interesting. Apprehender quelle chose. Apprehender quelque chose. Apprehendre quelle chose. That means learn something in French. And to make this joke even better, let's listen to it.
Apprendre quelque chose.
Aha, I was kind of right. When in doubt, sound it out. Just remember that. When in doubt, sound it out. So it is apprehendre quelque chose. So that means learn something French, losers. Peace out. You know what? Let's make this joke even metier. Is even metier a word? Even meta. More meta. Sur la pièce, which means peace out in French. So, sur la pièce.